press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome to lecture number 5 of chemical bonding. In the last class we had gone through the concepts of covalent bonding, where we have learned the formation of a double covalent bond, triple covalent bond, followed by we had gone through the concepts of extent of covalent character in an ionic bond, followed by extent of ionic character in a covalent bond. Based upon the extent of a covalent character in ionic bond, we had gone through a different examples, and those examples were solved on the basis of a certain rules, and those rules were set down by a scientist called Fajans, and those rules were called Fajans rules. By making use of a certain set of Fajans rules, we can easily identify the extent of covalent character in ionic bond. In that context, we had gone through a different examples. Today we will have a continued session of that context. Okay, next, if in order to find out the extent of covalent character in ionic bond, if they have given an examples like this: if beryllium chloride, calcium chloride, followed by magnesium chloride, followed by calcium chloride. By giving these examples, if they ask, compare the melting point and boiling point among the following ionic compounds, or arrange these compounds with the increasing order of their solubility, or arrange these ionic compounds in the increasing order of their covalent character anta kelbodu. Any type they can ask. Okay, as we all know that covalent character, if it is increases, solubility it's going to be decreases. With the increase in the covalent character, extent of mutual sharing has been increased. With the increase of extent of mutual sharing, availability of electrons becomes more difficult. There is no presence of ions here. That is why with the increase in the covalent character, solubility of the compound it's going to be decreased. At the same time, with the decrease in the solubility, melting point and boiling point of the compounds also going to be decreased. Okay, now we come to this example. All these compounds, they possess a common anion they are having, in which they possess Cl as anion. It just left that concept. Next, all these compounds which possess different cations. One molecule contains beryllium, another one magnesium, another one calcium. All are having different cations. Okay, now we just enter into the laws of Fajans rules. According to Fajans rule, smaller the size of cation, more will be its polarizing power. Smaller the size of the cation, more will be its polarizing power. Out of these three examples, which cation possess a smaller atomic size? Here, beryllium. Down the group, atomic size increases such that beryllium has a lesser atomic size than magnesium, followed by calcium. That means if we consider an atomic size of these three atoms, beryllium cation, which is having lesser atomic size, the cationic size of beryllium is smaller than magnesium, it is smaller than calcium. That is why here beryllium, being it possessing a smaller atomic radius or smaller cation, it possesses a higher polarizing power. With the decrease in the cationic size, polarizing power has to be increased. With the increase in the polarizing power, covalent character also increases, such that in these examples, beryllium compound which possesses highest polarizing power. In such cases, it carries high covalent character also. Okay, and in this context, by considering these three examples, so beryllium chloride is the molecule which possesses higher covalent character. Okay, if we arrange these three examples with covalent character andre covalent character of beryllium is greater than magnesium chloride, because the size of cation of magnesium is greater than beryllium. With the increase in the size of cation, covalent character decreases. That means polarizing power of cation decreases. This is followed by calcium. Okay, this is regarding the covalent character. Now we just move on to solubility. If we compare the solubility among these three structures or these three compounds, okay, if the covalent character increases, solubility of the compounds, it's going to be decreased. Okay, among these three examples, which is the example possessing higher covalent character? Beryllium chloride possesses higher covalent character, that is why it possesses lesser melting point and boiling point. If we arrange these compounds in the increasing order of their melting point, means this BeCl2 has less melting point and boiling point than MgCl2 followed by calcium chloride when we compare them with the MP and BP, melting point and boiling point. If we consider about the solubility, if we consider the concept of solubility between these three examples, okay, as we know that beryllium chloride is having higher covalent character. With the increase in the covalent character, solubility of the compound decreases. Okay, beryllium compound solubility is less than MgCl2, it is less than calcium chloride. Okay, it is the solubility. Okay, ಈ ಥರ ಯಾವುದೇ compounds ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು, if they ask to represent them with the increasing order of their covalent character, either with the melting and boiling point and either with the solubility, all these concepts are started with the finding out its covalent character. First we have to find out its covalent character. By using that covalent character, we have to know about the solubility, followed by we have to know about its melting and boiling point. Okay, next, if they have given like this, among CaCl2 and CaBr2, which of the compound is more soluble in nature, which of the compound has got more covalent nature, and which of the compound has got more melting and boiling point. Okay, you just look into the concept here. In these two examples, both the examples having same cation, that is calcium has cation ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ, but they have differed by their anions. One compound which possess Cl, another which possess Br. If we compare the sizes of these two atoms, Cl has a lesser size when compared to Br. Cl minus size Br minus size ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Then according to the Fazan's rule, larger the size of the anions, if the anionic size is more, then its polarizability is more. If the polarizability is more, then covalent character will also be more. Okay, in these two cases, Cl minus has a lesser anionic size followed by Br minus. That is why Br minus, the compound which got Br minus, has got more covalent character than CaCl2 because of its smaller size. When compared to the Br and Cl, Cl minus has less size, anionic size than Br minus. According to the Fazan's rule, larger the size of anion, more will be its polarizability, followed by more will be its covalent character. That means out of these two examples, CaBr2 has got CaBr2 is greater than CaCl2 in a covalent character. Covalent character of CaBr2 is greater than that of CaCl2. If we consider the solubility of CaBr2 and CaCl2, covalent character ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ covalent character and solubility both are inversely proportional. Okay, CaBr2ಗೆ covalent character ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ solubility ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. melting and boiling point ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. CaCl2 is means CaBr2 being it is having more covalent character, its melting and boiling point are lesser than this, followed by its solubility also lesser than the respective other atom or other molecule. Okay, so if we consider its solubility and melting and boiling point, here CaBr2 covalent character ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ solubility and melting point ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. CaCl2 Br ಅನ್ನು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ Clಗೆ anionic size smaller ಇರುತ್ತೆ, so it has a lesser covalent behavior. That is why with the less in its covalent character, it should have more solubility and more melting and boiling point. Okay, is it clear? Next, if they have given like this an example of KCl with AgCl, KCl with AgCl, ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Here both the molecules having same anion, no doubt, you just left that, and both the atoms are differed by their cations, in which this cation which is having 2-8 configuration, that means octet configuration it is having, and this Ag will have 2-8, 8-10 configuration, that means it is having PNGC. As I explained it in the last class, PNGC means the atoms or the cations which possess pseudo noble gas configuration, they are having more polarizing power, followed by they possess more covalent character. That is why in such cases the covalent character of KCl is less than that of AgCl, covalent character, followed by this KCl and AgCl. If we compare them with their solubility, KCl has got more solubility than AgCl because it is having higher covalent character, and if we compare them with the solubility, if we compare them with melting and boiling points also, melting and boiling points also, being KCl possessing a lesser covalent character, its boiling point and melting points are greater than the respective AgCl. Okay, here in these examples you must remember one thing, that the cation with the pseudo noble gas configuration has got more polarizing power, and that particular compound should possess more covalent nature. Okay, next Cosels and Lewis structure of Cosels and Lewis structure of covalent bonding. Okay, covalent bonding, this is one of the theory of covalent bonding which is put forward by the scientist Cosels and Lewis in order to explain about the molecular structure of covalent bonding. Okay, what is meant by this word molecular structure of covalent bonding? What is the need of this concept? Introducing this concept of Cosels and Lewis structures. ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ, if We consider an example of CO3 minus 2. Okay, carbon dioxide, CO3 minus 2, COO minus minus. This is the structure of CO3 minus 2. Here, for what purpose this carbon atom get 4 bonds? That is the doubt. For what purpose this oxygen should get negative charge? Why can't this oxygen should get negative charge? Why this oxygen should make 2 bonds with this carbon atom? Why can't this oxygen? This will have only one atom, one bond with this carbon atom. Why this oxygen will get negative charge? Okay, these are all the doubts which are running in our minds. Okay, by using this concept of Cosels and Levieser, these have given a clear idea regarding the electronic concept of covalent bonding, where they can explain about the molecular structure of different compounds, where they have given an explanation regarding the concept of electronic concept of covalent bonding. Okay, in order to explain about the molecular structure of covalent bonding, these two scientists, they have set some of the rules in order to explain its molecular structure, rules of Lewis and Cosels structure of covalent bonding, in which the very first rule it is selection of a central atom. First, select the central atom. Select the central atom. Okay, if they have given an example like the CO3 minus 2 example ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, this atom will have both carbon and oxygen. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. Out of these two, carbon and oxygen, which one we will consider it as a central atom? ಇವು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? and which factors we can consider it as a central atom? Okay, in order to find out its central atom, which one is acts as a central atom means by using the following factors. Central atom is one. ಯಾವುದು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, in a particular molecule, the atom which is present in a lesser number. ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಆಟಮ್ಮು ಲೆಸ್ಸರ್ ನಂಬರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತದೋ ಅದು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಆಟಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಲೆಸ್ಸರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಆಟಮು ಲೆಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತದೋ ಅದು ಅದರ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲಿನ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೂಲ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್, ದಟ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ least electronegativity among the other atoms. Second point to identify the central atom is atom should have least electronegativity. This point is most important. Among carbon and oxygen, which one is possessing less electronegativity? No doubt it is carbon. Oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. By this factor also we can confine that carbon is a central atom. Here, by using this also, atom which is present in a lesser number in a molecule. In this molecule, which atom is present in a lesser number? Carbon atom. Because we have only one carbon atom here and we have 3 oxygen atoms here. That is why in this molecule, carbon atom acts as a central atom. Okay, then we have one more option to identify this carbon or identify the central atom. Okay, atoms which present in a lesser number in a molecule, atoms should have least electronegativity, followed by atom with larger atomic radius or larger atomic size. ಆಟಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೈಜ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಯಾವ ಆಟಮು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೈಜು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತದೋ, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಬೈ ಕಂಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ 3 ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ conclude that, or we can easily identify the central atom in a molecule. Okay, if we consider, or if they have given like this, yes, O4 minus 2 ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, identify the central atom in this molecule ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, here sulfur, ಯಾವ atom, first rule ನೋಡಿ, atom present in a lesser number. Here we have only 1 sulfur atom and 4 oxygen atoms. ಯಾವುದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ? Here sulfur. Sulfur is present in a lesser number, that is why this will act as a central atom, followed by, according to the second rule, atom should have least electronegativity. When we compare the electronegative strength of sulfur and oxygen, sulfur will have less electronegativity than oxygen. Second condition also satisfied. Then we should enter into the third one, where atom with a large atomic size, when we compare the size of sulfur with oxygen, it should have more atomic size. That is why in this particular SO4 minus 2 molecule, sulfur acts as a central atom other than oxygen. Oxygen will not be central atom in this particular molecule. Okay, next, in this way we can easily identify, or we can easily select the central atom. You must remember this concept. Okay, next, second point, two atoms. First one, hydrogen and fluorine atoms can never be, hydrogen and fluorine atoms can never be a central atom. This is also important point. Okay, here hydrogen atom and fluorine atom can never be a central atom ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಇವೆರಡು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ we have to follow a certain conditions. Central atom should have least electronegativity. Here fluorine which possess larger electronegativity, and central atom should possess large atomic size, but here hydrogen atom is having very smaller atomic size. However, by looking into these conditions, hydrogen and fluorine atoms can never be a central atom. ಇವೆರಡು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ central atom ಆಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, next, third one, or ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಯಾವ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು? ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಕೂಡ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಸಲ್ಫರ್, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್, ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್, ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್, Cl. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಯಾವ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ? ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನೆವರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಹೈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗೆಟಿವಿಟಿ ಪವರ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ನೋಡಿ, covalency of oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur, covalency of oxygen is 2 na covalency ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? covalency means number of bonds formed by the atom. Number of covalent bonds formed by atom is considered as covalency. That means the covalency of oxygen is 2, means it will have 2 electron pairs, or it is having the possibility to form 2 bonds. Okay, 2 bonds ಅನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ 2 covalent bonds ಅನ್ನು ಇದು formation ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Okay, in such cases covalency of nitrogen is 4. Usually this nitrogen will have 5 electrons in its valence shell, but it can have maximum 4 bonds. 4 bonds ಅನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದು formation ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, not 5 bonds. Okay, next, sulfur. Covalency of sulfur is 6. Okay, covalency of sulfur is 6. That means maximum it can form 6 covalent bonds. Okay, next, carbon. Valency of carbon, as we know that it is having a tetravalent behavior, that means carbon can form 4 covalent bonds, followed by silicon also can form 4 bonds. Next, phosphorus, it can form maximum 5 covalent bonds, and Cl, it can form maximum 7 covalent bonds. Okay, these are the covalent bond forming capacity of these atoms. Okay, in cases, suppose this oxygen atom, ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ 2 ಬಾಂಡ್ಸನ್ನೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ರೂಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ 4 ಬಾಂಡನ್ನೇ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ರೂಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಐದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್. ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಐದರ್ single bond or double bond. At the same time, nitrogen, it can form either 3 bonds or 4 bonds. Number of covalent bonds, oxygen number of covalent bonds ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, either it can exist in a single bond or double bond. Nitrogen with 3 bonds or 4 bonds, ಎರಡೂ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ 3 ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ 4 ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. When we enter this sulfur, maximum covalency of sulfur is 6, but it can exist in 2, 4, 6. Nitrogen have both the tendencies to form 2 bonds, 4 bonds followed by 6 bonds. Either it can form 2 covalent bonds or it can form 4 covalent bonds, or else it can form maximum 6 covalent bond also. Okay, next, carbon, it will not have any other options, it can form only 4 covalent bonds followed by this silicon also, it could able to form only 4 bonds. Okay, next, when we enter into this phosphor, it can form both 3 bonds as well as 5 bonds. Phosphor, it can have the capacity to form either 3 bonds or 5 covalent bonds. 3 bonds ಅನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, 5 bonds ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, followed by the last one, it is a Cl. It can have the tendency to form 1 bond also, 3 bond also, 5 bond also, followed by 7 bond also. Okay, in order to get the octet configuration or in order to get the stability, these bonds or these atoms, they can, based upon their nature, they can exist in a single bond, double bond, triple bond, or number of covalent bonds alli avu represent ಆಗ್ತವೆ. This point is a most important point. Okay, the maximum covalencies of these two atoms, ಇದು maximum covalencies ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, maximum ಎಷ್ಟು covalent bond ಅನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, and these can represents the number of bonds. ಎಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದಾದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎರಡಾದರೂ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ nitrogen can make bond up to 3 or 4. Here sulfur can form 2, 4, 6 covalent bonds, and carbon can form only 4 covalent bonds, followed by silicon 4, phosphorus it is 3, 5, followed by Cl 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, ಈ ಥರ ನಮಗೆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್. Third, this is most important point. Calculate the total number of valence electrons. Total number of valence electrons of all the atoms in a molecule. Of all the atoms in a molecule. Okay, how do we calculate the total number of valence electrons in all the atoms of the molecules? ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? In order to calculate it, one rule is there or one formula is there, that is represented by X total. X total ಅಂದರೆ total number of valence electrons. Total number of valence electrons, it is given by number of valence electrons, number of valence electrons of all the atoms, number of valence electrons of all the atoms in a molecule, atoms in a molecule, plus negative charge minus positive charge. Okay, this is the most important formula. Okay, in order to find out the total number of valence electrons in a molecule, we have to find out number of valence electrons of all the atoms in a molecule. If we want to calculate CO2, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ total number of valence electrons ಅನ್ನು calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ we have to calculate the valence electrons of both the carbon as well as the number of oxygen atoms. ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟರದ್ದು calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Then what is this additional part? Plus positive charge plus negative charge minus positive charge ಹೀಗಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಓಕೆ, ಇಫ್ ದ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಈ ಥರ ಇತ್ತು, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಪೋಸ್ if it is like this, NO3 minus, okay, if the compound has possesses some charge ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಈ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಚಾರ್ಜಸನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕೇಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ ಅ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ NH4+ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ this plus 1 electron is subtracted by the total number of valence electrons. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ತವೋ ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸನ್ನು ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ? ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಈಗ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್. ಹೌ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ನಾವೇನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ bond pair of electrons minus bond pair electrons. This is how we can calculate the number of lone pairs present in a molecule. Okay, lone pairs can be calculated by x total ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ total number of valence electrons. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ವ ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್? ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ಸನ್ನು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ 2 into ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, 2 into ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ NH3 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, NH3 ಈ ಥರ ಇತ್ತು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೌಂಟ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 3 ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್. that 3 is multiplied with 2. That means each bond carries 2 electrons. Haudalva? That is why 2 is multiplied by number of bonds. Number of bonds are 3. Then the total number of bond pair electrons present in this molecule is 6. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೇವೆ. ದೋಸ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಇದು ಒಂದು, ಇವೆರಡು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಪ್ಪ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಇನ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ರಿಟನ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ x is equal to number of valence electrons are represented by V plus positive charge minus negative charge. ಈ ಥರ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ the next rule the central atom either exists with the octet or extended octet. This is most important point. ಓಕೆ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ಗೆ ಐದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಕ್ಟೇಟ್, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಆಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಆಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 8. Central atom should possess minimum 8 electrons and it can possess a maximum 8 electrons also, which do not possess electrons less than 8. Okay, it must possess octet or extended octet also it can have, but which do not explains they which do not have electrons less than 8. 8ಕ್ಕಿಂತ electrons ಅನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಹೊಂದಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, next. The central atom tries to be with a maximum covalency. ಓಕೆ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ತನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೋವಲೆನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನು ಅಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಬೋತ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್, ಬಟ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೋವಲೆನ್ಸಿ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೋವಲೆನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ either it exists with octet or extended octet, followed by the central atom tries to be with the maximum covalency. Next, the last one, it is the lone pairs. The lone pair of electrons, ನಾವೇನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ವ lone pair of electrons, those lone pairs are utilized. Those lone pairs are utilized either as lone pairs or to form double and triple bonds. ಹೀಗಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಾವು ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ವಾ, those lone pair of electrons are utilized for either as lone pairs in order to satisfy the octet. ಅವುಗಳು ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಆರ್ in order to get that stability they may converted into as double and triple bonds. Double and triple bonds ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, and they may exist as a lone pair also. Okay, these are the rules of Lewis and Cosell in order to explain the molecular structure of a covalent bonding. Okay, now directly we enter into the calculation part. Okay, if they have given an example like this, oxygen molecule, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು? ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸನ್ನು. How many atoms? Here 2 hydrogen atoms ಇದೆಯಾ? 2 hydrogen atoms. Valency of hydrogen ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ? Only 1 it is. Okay, 2 into 1 it is 2. That means how many valence electrons are there in hydrogen? 2 electrons. Total number of valence electrons ಸಿಕ್ತಪ್ಪ. Now we can calculate the lone pairs. How to calculate the lone pairs? This X is subtracted with bond pair na. This X total is subtracted with bond pair of electrons. ಇಲ್ಲಿ X total ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 2 electrons ಇದೆ. ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ನಡುವೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ 1 ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ? 2 ಇಂಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಇಯರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 1 ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2. ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ತಗೋಬೋದು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ where we have 2 electrons. 2 minus 2, that is 0. That means in this hydrogen molecule which do not possess any lone pair of electrons, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್. ಇದೇ ಈ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲಿನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್. ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. 2 electrons ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು. By using that we have to calculate the lone pair of electrons. Here the lone pair of electrons are 0. We do not have any lone pair of electrons, such that the structure of hydrogen molecule is like this only. Okay, next the second examples, if you can take the formation of O2 molecule. Now ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? first we have to calculate the X total. How many number of oxygen atoms are there here? 2 atoms of oxygen are there. Okay, next ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? valence electrons of oxygen. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ valence electrons ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು? 1. valence electrons of oxygen is how much? Oxygen is having 6 valence electrons which carries no charge. That is why no need of taking the charges. And 6 to 12 electrons are there, means 12 valence electrons are there for oxygen, in which bonded pair ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, lone pairs ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ನಡುವೆ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ. ದೆನ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್? ಬೈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 12 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. 12 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಬಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆಪ್ಪ ಇದ್ರ ನಡುವೆ? ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೀಸ್ 2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. 12 minus 2, that is 10 electrons. ನಾನು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. These 10 lone pair of electrons or any lone pair of electrons, either they may utilized for lone pairs or they utilized for the formation of a double or triple bond. This lone pair of electrons either they use as a lone pairs or they utilized for the formation of a double and triple bond formation na ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Okay, first by using this 10 electron, now first ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? We have to satisfy the octet of terminal atoms first instead of central atom. Okay, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು by using the valence electrons or by using the lone pair of electrons, we have to satisfy the octet configuration of terminal atoms first, followed by the central atom. Okay, here oxygen atom, both are having single electron. Now we have how many electrons? 10 electrons. You have to share these 10 electrons. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. We left with 4 electrons. 1 2 3 4. Okay, total we have 10 electrons now. But you remember the concept of covalency of oxygen. Maximum covalency of oxygen is how much? Maximum covalency of oxygen is 2. It will have maximum 2 covalent bond capacity. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ maximum oxygen ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ? It is always trying to be in a double state ಅಥವಾ double covalent bond ಅಲ್ಲಿ exist ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ try ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, because its covalency is 2. Maximum covalency is 2. Okay, here this atom in order to convert this into a double bond, ಈಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, count the number of electrons here, 2, 4, 6 plus 2, 8 ಆಯ್ತು. 1 oxygen valency satisfy ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, 1 oxygen octet satisfy ಆಯಿತು. Here 2, 4, 6, but another atom do not possess the octet configuration. In order to convert this octet configuration and this incomplete octet configuration into a octet configuration, ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, by using these two electrons we have to make one more bond between the oxygen atom. ಇವೆರಡು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ನಡುವೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೋವೆಲೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ, these lone pair of electrons either they may exist as lone pairs or they may utilized for the formation of double and triple bond. Here, in order to get a stable electronic configuration of octet, these lone pair of electrons are utilized for the formation of one more bond ಅನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Okay, now count the number of electrons now. 2, 4, 6 plus 2, 8. 2, 4, 6 plus 2, 8. Now, both the oxygen atoms carries 8 electrons. Both are getting a stable octet configuration. Okay, this is the structure of a oxygen molecule. In between any two oxygen molecules, it will possess a double covalent bond. Okay, next. We will move on to the next example, that is ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಇದ್ವು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಎರಡೆರಡೇ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸಪರೇಟ್ atom and oxygen is a separate atom. In such cases, we have to compare which will act as a central atom, which will act as a terminal atom. Okay, in order to find out the central atom, we had gone through a different rules to find out the central atom. Okay, ಯಾವುದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ central atom ಅಂತ find out ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಕೆಲವು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಯಾವುದು, the atom which is present in a lesser number, that is the first point. ಈ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ atom ಲೆಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ atom, that might be the central atom, followed by the atom which possesses least electronegativity. Second point, that is among carbon and oxygen, carbon will have less electronegativity power. ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Followed by the third one, the atom with the larger atomic size. Here carbon has got more atomic size than oxygen. By looking into these three concepts, we can find that in this particular molecule, carbon will act as a central atom. Carbon will act as the central atom. Now, in this context, we have to calculate the total number of electrons. How to calculate this total number of electrons? By calculating the total number of valence electrons of all the atoms in a molecule. I repeat, how to calculate the total number of valence electrons andra by calculating the valence electrons of all the atoms present in a molecule. Ella atoms indu calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. First, how many carbon atoms are there here? We have only one carbon atom. What is the valency of carbon atom? That is 4 plus how many oxygen atoms are there? 2 oxygen atoms. Here one carbon atom plus one oxygen atom. Okay, next 2 oxygen atoms. What is the valency of oxygen? 6. As this molecule is a neutral molecule which do not possess any charge, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದು ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ x total is equal to 4 plus 12. How much it is? 16 electrons it is having. Okay, 16 electrons in total ಆಯಿತು. Among these 16 electrons, how much electrons are lone pair of electrons? Then how many electrons are bonded pair electrons? No. Okay, this carbon dioxide, simply you can take it like this. ಈ ಥರ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಹೌ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್? Okay, lone pair of electrons calculated by subtracting the bond pair of electrons in total number of valence electrons. Total number of electrons ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ? Total number of electrons are 16. Then how many bond pairs are there? Here we have 2 bonds. 2 bonds ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4 electrons ಆಯಿತು. 4 electrons ಆಯಿತು. We have left with 12 lone pair of electrons. 12 lone pair of electrons. ಓಕೆ, ಈ 12 ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ 12 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಐದರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇ ಮೇ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ double and triple bonds. Okay, now these 12 electrons, first we had given this 12 electrons into this terminal oxygen atoms. Terminal oxygen atom ಗೆ first ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? 12 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ? in order to attain the stability, octet configuration ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Here 2 4 6 plus 2 8. The octet of this oxygen has been satisfied, followed by remaining total 12 electrons ಇದೆ. 6 ಅನ್ನು ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ and remaining 6 electrons 2 3 4 5 6 2 4 6 plus 2 8. Okay, here both the terminal atoms should attain octet here. ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ octet configuration ಬಂದಾಯಿತು. Now we look into the central atom. Valency of carbon is to covalency of carbon, it is 4. Okay, it can have maximum of 4 bonds. It is always try to be exist with the 4 bonds. 4 valency ಎಲ್ಲಿದು exist ಆಗ್ತದೆ. That means here we have only 2 electrons or 2 bonds with the carbon atom. Central carbon atom ಗೆ ಬರೀ 2 bonds ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೆರಡು ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ಏನು 2 ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ವಿಚ್ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್. In another case, these 2 electrons also utilized for the formation of one more bond. Now count the number of electrons on central atom. 2 4 6 plus 2 8. Here the octet of central atom is also satisfied. Octet of terminal atoms are also satisfied. Now calculate the number of electrons here. 2 4 6 plus 2 8. 2 4 6 plus 2 8 means after writing this structures, all the atoms, that means central atom and the terminal atom should get the octet configuration. Okay, this is how we can write the structure of a carbon dioxide molecule. Okay, next we will move on to the next concept or next example, that is NH3 molecule. NH3. Okay, how to identify the central atom here? Our first work is to identify the central atom. Central atom ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? Central atom least number ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇದೆ least number. Maximum size ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇದೆ. That is why nitrogen will act as a central atom. Central atom ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ. Then next we have to calculate the total number of valence electrons. What are the number of atoms present here? We have 4 atoms here, in which 1 atom is nitrogen and 3 atoms are hydrogen. Okay, 1 nitrogen followed by 3 hydrogen ide, and which is a neutral molecule which do not carries any type of charges. Okay, here what is the valence electrons of nitrogen? 5 it is. 1 into 5 plus valence electrons of hydrogen is only 1. Okay, total we have 8 electrons. Valence electrons present in this molecule are 8 electrons. Okay, then we have to calculate the lone pairs. How to calculate the lone pairs? By subtracting the bond pair of electrons with the total number of electrons. Bond pair of electrons ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಪ್ಪ? It will have 3 bonds na. 1 bond, 2 bond, 3 bond. 3 bond ಅಂದ್ರೆ electrons ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು? Total we have 6 electrons and we have 8 electrons ಇದೆಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, total valence electrons ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 8 ಇದೆ. Minus bond pair electrons ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 6 ಇದೆ. Okay, lone pair of electrons ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು? 2 okay, this molecule which consists how many lone pair of electrons, 2 electrons ಇದೆ. ಆ 2 electrons ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು, either they can exist as lone pairs or they may utilized for the formation of single and double bonds ಅಲ್ವಾ. But here look into this concept, 2 electrons, ಈ 2 electron ಅನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, by using those electrons first we have to satisfy the octet of terminal atoms followed by the central atoms. First ನೋಡಿ, hydrogen the ಎಷ್ಟು valency for hydrogen is 1, it is having a capacity 2 electron capacity to attain duplet configuration. Okay, in order to attain the duplet, that means a stable electronic configuration, hydrogen requires 2 electrons only. Okay, 2 it is. Already all the 3 hydrogens are at the stage of a stable electronic configuration, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ duplet configuration ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. That means no need of donating these electrons into this terminal hydrogen atom. ಆಗ ಉಳಿದಿರೋ 2 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ ವಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ stable electronic configuration of terminal atoms ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ all are getting 2 electrons hydrogens, they possess stability. When we compare the stability or octet configuration of central atom, it is having 3 bonds here, 2, 4, 6 electrons in total it is having. Along with that it will have 2 valence lone pair of electrons. ಇದನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ 8 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, 2, 4, 6, 8. ಓಕೆನಪ್ಪ. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ these 2 lone pairs they remain as a lone pairs, okay, because all the terminal atoms are already filled according to their stable electronic configuration. Okay, is it clear? Next we will move on to the ionic species, that is CO3 minus 2 it is, if they have given like this, in which central atom ಯಾವುದು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆಪ್ಪ, central atom which is present in a lesser number. Oxygen atoms 3 ಇದೆ, carbon atom is only 1, that is why it will become a central atom. And the atom which possesses a large atomic radius, less electronegativity, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ತಗೋತೇವೆ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, followed by how to calculate its total number of valence electrons. In this molecule which contains how many atoms, 4 atoms ಇದೆ, 1 carbon atom ಇದೆ, plus 3 oxygen atoms are there. Then these 2 charges, these ಅಂದರೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆ 2 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರ್ತದೋ ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ in this example we have 2 minus 2 ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 1 ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್, ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ, 4, followed by 3 into valence electrons of oxygen. Oxygen ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ತದೆ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, 6 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ 2. ಓಕೆ, 6 3 is 18 plus 2 20 plus 4 24 electrons. Okay, in total we have 24 valence electrons are there, 24 valence electrons ಇದೆ. Now we have to calculate the lone pair of electrons. How to calculate the lone pair of electrons? By subtracting this total number of electrons in bond pairs, x total minus bond pair electrons. X total ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಪ್ಪ, we are having 24 electrons here, minus these 24 electrons are subtracted with CO3. How many atoms are there here? 3 atoms na. 3 atoms ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ each bond carries 2 electrons, such that we are having the 3 bonds. The bond pair of electrons are 6. 24 minus 6, how much it is? 18 electrons. In total we have 18 lone pair of electrons. ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು, we have to arrange these 18 electrons. By using these 18 electrons, first we have to satisfy the octet of a terminal atoms. Terminal atoms ಗಳಿಗೆ octet ಅನ್ನು satisfy ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ we have to utilize its 18 electrons. Okay, then ಇದೇನಾಗ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ, oxygen atom already it is having 2 electrons and it requires 6 more electrons to get octet. 6 electrons, 2 4 6 plus 2 8. This oxygen will also 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 plus 2 8 electrons, followed by this 1 2 3 4 5 6 plus 2 8 electrons. Okay, these all 18 electrons are utilized for satisfying the octet of terminal atoms. Terminal atoms anna satisfy ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ all the 18 electrons are utilized here. But central atom is carbon here. Carbon and valency as to covalency 4 bonds capacity, but now it existed in a 3 bonds capacity. In such cases what happens, either these lone pair of electrons are remained as lone pairs or they may utilize it for the formation of double or a triple bond. That is why these 2 lone pair of electrons they utilized for the formation of a double bond. Now the covalency of carbon is satisfied. Covalency of carbon is 2 bonds with 2 bonds. 4 bonds means 8 electrons. Octet is completed here. Now count the number of electrons for this oxygen atom. 2 4 6 plus 2 8, and these 2 has already got the stable electronic configuration. But ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ Si2 double bond O ಆಯಿತು, single bond O ಆಯಿತು. Then what does this 2 electrons goes? -2 ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು? Either we put the negative charge on this oxygen, on this oxygen, on this oxygen. ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು? ಇದ್ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕು? Why can't we put the negative charge on this carbon atom? One thing you must remember, if the molecule is got a positive charge, ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ that positive charge is must present on a central atom. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. If the molecule got negative charge means that negative charge is always present on a terminal atoms, not on a central atoms. You must remember this concept. If the molecule has got positive charge like NH4 plus ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ that a positive charge is must and should present on the central atom, not on the terminal atoms. If there is a negative charge present on the molecule means those negative charges which present on the terminal atoms instead of the central atom. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ central atom ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, instead it is present on the terminal atoms. Okay, then which terminal atoms, either this oxygen or this oxygen, we have 3 oxygen atoms here. In which 3 atoms any 2 atoms should get negative charges, 2 charges ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು. ಯಾವುದು? either this oxygen or this oxygen or this oxygen, ಯಾವುದು ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ? In order to clarify this doubt, one more new concept has been introduced. That concept is called formal charge. Concept of formal charge. How to calculate this formal charge? This formal charge can be calculated by valence electrons minus lone pair of electrons minus bond pair of electrons divided by 2. Okay, in order to find out which atom gets a negative charge and which atom gets a positive charge, either this oxygen should get negative charge or this oxygen should not get negative charge or this oxygen atom. ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. You can represent this as 1, you can represent this as 2, this as 4. Okay, in order to calculate the formal charge of this oxygen atom, formal charge of first oxygen ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ತದಪ್ಪ, 6 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೈನಸ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, 2 4 6 minus 6 it is, minus bond pair of BP stands for bond pair of electrons, LP stands for lone pair of electrons, where V stands for valence electrons. This formal charge is for particular atoms. To calculate the charge on a particular atom, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು particular atom ನ charge ಅನ್ನು calculate ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ the concept has been introduced. Okay, here this formal charge of a first oxygen we can calculate it by finding its valence electrons. Valence electrons of oxygen is 6, followed by the lone pair of electrons, means it is having 6 lone pair of electrons in it, right? 6 followed by half into bond pair of electrons. How many bond pair of electrons it is having? 2 electrons. Why we represent it with half? Half means these 2 electrons are responsible for both carbon atom as well as oxygen atom. That is why it is divided by 2. That means it is having only one bond, means that is 2 electrons. Okay na? Now 6 minus 7 it is minus 1. This is most important. Okay, nodi, by using the formal charge concept we have calculated the charge present on the particular atom. Okay, ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ, ಹೆಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್? This is also same na. This oxygen atom is also having single bond. This oxygen is also having single bond. This also having 6 electrons. This also having 6 electrons. Both are having negative charges. ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಕೆ 6. ಅಂದರೆ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ತದ 6, ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ 2 4 6 ಇದೆ. 6 minus half into ಬಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಪ್ಪ 2 ಇದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೀಸ್ -1 charge. Okay, next we will move on to the next concept or next atom, that is a third oxygen atom, where formal charge of third oxygen atom it is. This third oxygen atom, which consists of again the valency of this oxygen atom, valence electrons of this oxygen atoms are 6, followed by, first we have to take the formula, lone pair minus bond pair divided by 2, that is valence electrons of this oxygen are again 6 minus lone pairs. How many lone pair of electrons are there here? 2 and 4 valence electrons are there, minus number of bonds. How many number of bonds are there here? We have 2 bonds here. 2 bonds means 4 electrons. Bond pair of electrons 4 by 2 it is. Okay, 2 minus 6 plus 6 it is 0. That means this oxygen atom which do not carries any type of charge on this oxygen atom is 0. Okay na? Again, if you want to calculate the formal charge on a carbon atom also, it will gives 0. ನೋಡಿ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ, ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ 4 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ 0 ಇದೆ. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಪ್ಪ? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ನೀವು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಐ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ, ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೈನಸ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ? ದೇವರ್ ನೋ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ 0, minus half into how many bonds are there for carbon atoms, 2 plus 2, 4 bonds are there. That is why in total we have 8 electrons from that. 2 1s are 2 4s are, plus 4 minus 4, they get cancel each other, and the charge on the central atom carbon is equal to 0. Okay, next here one thing you must remember based upon this concept of lattice energy. If it is a neutral molecule like this NH3, NF3, ಈ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ sum of their formal charges is equal to 0 ಇರ್ತದೆ. For neutral molecules, you must remember, for neutral molecules ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅವುಗಳ ಸಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0 ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎನ್ ಅಯಾನ್, ಅಯಾನಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. Sum of the formal charge is equal to its charge. If we consider this CO3 minus 2, according to the concept, in case of ionic molecule ಏನಿರ್ತದ, sum of the formal charges is equal to its charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಿವಲ್ವಾ. Now we consider the formal charges of this molecule. Carbon 0 ಇದೆ, this oxygen is also having 0, this will have minus 1, this will have minus 1, minus 1 minus 1, it is equal to minus 2, that is equal to the charge on the ion. Okay, if it is a neutral molecule, sum of the formal charges of all the atoms is equal to 0. Suppose if it is an ionic molecule, sum of the formal charges of all the atoms is equal to its charge, or the charge carried by the ion. Okay, is it clear regarding the concept of a formal charge, how to calculate its formal charge, then in which cases, in neutral molecules and in ionic species? And in the next class we are going to continue with the same chapter, that is with this concept of a formal charge, as well as calculating the molecular structure or determination of molecular structure of the compounds by using Cossel's and Lewis structure. Cossel's and Lewis structure.